What's up guys, Dr. Ryan here with another episode of Smashing Wealth. In this video, you're gonna learn how to improve your credit score fast. I'm gonna share with you my biggest secret on the fastest way to increase your credit score. This is gonna allow you to increase your credit score by as much as 100 points super fast, especially if you have fair or downright terrible credit. This will allow you to have better interest rates on your credit cards, mortgages, and loans. This will allow you to hear "you're approved" way more often. Ultimately, this will end up saving you thousands of dollars in saved interest charges over your lifetime. This isn't going to be your average video on how to improve your credit rating. You can find those all over YouTube. I'm going to share with you actionable steps that you can implement today on how to improve your credit score fast. So let's get into it. And if you wait for it, I'll be sharing one of my biggest secrets right now after this quick disclaimer. I am not a financial advisor. Nothing in this video should be misinterpreted as financial advice. Please consult with a licensed financial advisor prior to implementing any of the strategies shared in this video. This video is for entertainment purposes only. In my personal opinion, the fastest way on how to improve your credit score in 30 days is to use the authorized user technique. This is also known as the piggybacking credit technique. Let me break down how this technique works. I'm going to explain how to use this technique step by step. First, you're going to have to find somebody with a great credit score. This person, in most cases, should love you and trust you. You then need to get this high credit score individual to add you to their credit card as an authorized user. This is a really simple process. That person just needs to call their credit card company and tell the credit card company that they would like to add you as an authorized user on their account. This process should take less than 5 minutes. In some cases, the person who is adding you to their account can simply log into their online account and add you as an authorized user online. Now you may ask yourself, what is an authorized user? An authorized user is any person who has permission to use a credit card, but they are not held liable to pay off any balance on that credit card. They are listed as a secondary on the account. The entire credit history of that person's credit card account will then be added to your credit profile with the credit agencies. Essentially, you are adopting their amazing credit history. This is how to boost your credit score with a credit card that you don't really own, as you are not the primary card holder. Now, how long will this process take? It will take about 30 to 45 days. This is typically the amount of time it'll take for their credit card account to report it to your credit bureaus. It makes sense to use a family member or a really good friend for this technique. They really need to like you to want to help you. They are adding you as a secondary user to their credit card after all. Makes sense, right? Becoming an authorized user in itself does not skyrocket your credit score. You don't want to just add yourself to just any account. You want to add yourself to credit accounts that meet certain criteria. I'm going to show with you the key criteria that should be met for effective results. Without these key points, your credit score can end up becoming worse than it is now. So take heed to these specifications that I'm going to share with you. Now let's take a look at accounts that you should be added to as a secondary account user as an authorized user. First things first, make sure you only get added to accounts that report to the credit bureaus. A good rule of thumb is if an account needs a social security number to open it, it probably reports to the credit bureaus. There are a few credit card companies that do not report to authorized users' credit reports. That's why you should always double check just to make sure. You also want to make sure that the credit card account that you're being added to has a high credit limit. The minimum credit limit that I would recommend to be added to is a credit card with at least $5,000 minimum. A credit limit of about $10,000 would be ideal. Credit to debt ratio is an important factor when calculating a credit score. You want to make sure you become an authorized user on an account that has low utilization with a low balance. No more than 10% utilization should be used on any card that you're being added to. A credit card with 1% or less credit card utilization is definitely preferred. You want to make sure that the credit card you're being added to has a great payment history. This is a key factor on how to quickly increase your credit score. Any late payments on their account will show up on yours. If you become an authorized user on their credit card, please make sure that there are none. There should be no 30-day late payments in the last 7 years. It just doesn't make sense to become an authorized user just to adopt someone else's poor payment history and their poor credit history. If you adopt someone else's poor credit history, forget about this video being about how to improve your credit score fast. This video will be about how to get your credit score to sink into the deep 300s. And I don't think anyone's searching that. You also need to take a look at the length of their credit history. You want to make sure that the account that you're being added to as an authorized user has a good length of credit history. Make sure that that credit account that you're being added to as an authorized user has been open for more than 10 years. This way you add a long, positive credit history to your credit report. If you're added to an account with a short credit history, you're going to inherit a short credit history, which won't boost your score as much as the long history would. Now, this authorized user technique is not without its share of issues. Now, what if that person is worried about adding you as an authorized user to their account? Because the truth is, not everyone's going to want to add you as an authorized user on their account. That's why you need to really find someone who loves you, trusts you, and supports you. If it makes them feel any better, that person can remove you as an authorized user from their account at any moment, at any time. The person who makes you an authorized user does not have to allow you to actually use the account. They don't even have to give you a credit card so that you have access to the account. The fact is, you don't even need to use their account to benefit. You just need to be listed on their account so that you go ahead and inherit their good credit history. The really great part about this technique is that your credit score will benefit from the positive credit history of their account, and they will receive no negative history from your credit report. This is literally a one-way road that only benefits you positively if done correctly. Isn't that incredible? Now, you may hear some people on the internet promoting this as a how to improve your credit score in 24 hours free technique. This is simply not the case. You need to give it at least 30 to 45 days for it to positively impact your credit score, as this is normally the length of time you have to wait for credit accounts to even report to the credit agencies. I am just scratching the surface on the possible techniques you could implement today. Put your phone down for a second and let's get into some of my other secrets on how to improve your credit fast. I'll be linking to some of my favorite credit cards in the description below that you could apply for, and when used properly can definitely help you improve your credit score fast. If you've enjoyed this video so far, please consider smashing that subscribe button and turning on the notification bell to be alerted every single time I drop a new video. Let's get into the frequent payment technique. Now, this is one way to improve your credit score quickly. One of the big factors that influence your credit score is credit utilization. It makes up 30% of your score. Now let's take a look at what is credit utilization. Credit utilization refers to how much money you owe in relation to how much money you could borrow. The more of your credit that you use, the greater your credit utilization will be, which will ultimately negatively affect your credit. Most people make just one lump payment a month to their credit cards, and I would most definitely recommend against this. Now you might be thinking, are you saying that I should stop paying my credit card? No, not at all. All I'm saying is that you should pay your credit cards a little bit differently. Now, what I want you to do is go ahead and break up that big monthly lump sum that you usually pay your credit card every month. Go ahead and take that big lump sum, break it up into smaller, frequent payments on your credit card balances. So, for instance, if you were making a once a month $1,000 payment on your credit card, just go ahead and start paying it off throughout the month. Maybe $200, $200, $200, $200 as the month goes on. I would even highly recommend you go ahead and you pay your purchases off online as soon as you see them post to your account. Instead of letting your credit card balances build up throughout the month towards your due date, pay off each purchase immediately. This will have a dramatic effect on lowering that credit utilization, which will increase that credit score fast. I mean, think about it. You're gonna make those monthly payments anyway. You might as well just go ahead and break it up into little tiny micro payments. If this is your first time hearing about the micro payment technique, go ahead and drop me a comment down below saying micro payments. If you've used this technique before, I also want you to let me know down in the comment section below. Right now, I'm gonna show you how to increase your credit score fast and easy. One overlooked credit technique is increasing your credit limits. This technique must be done carefully and responsibly. We talked about the importance of decreasing credit utilization earlier. There are two ways of doing that. You could either pay off debt or increase your credit limit. I call all my credit card companies every few months and I ask them to raise my credit limit. This lowers your credit utilization, which will also increase your credit score. Let me give you a hypothetical example. For instance, if you have a total of $5,000 of outstanding debt and a $10,000 credit limit, you would have a credit utilization of 50%. Now, if you went ahead and you called your credit card company and you asked them to raise that credit limit, and they agreed to go ahead and raise it from $10,000 to $20,000, your new credit utilization will be reduced from 50% to 25%. Feel free to rewind this video to hear that again. Now, how does one go about asking for a credit limit increase? If you go ahead and you call your credit card company and you say, hey, I have a lot of upcoming spending. I would really love to use your credit card for those purchases, but I need a bigger credit limit. Can you increase my credit limit for me? If the customer care representative comes back and says to you, I can't raise your credit limit, don't hesitate to ask for a supervisor. Just tell the supervisor you would like to use your credit card more actively. The current credit limit just simply does not meet your needs. Keep escalating higher and higher and higher until the credit limit's raised on all your credit cards. Make sure you make this phone call on all your credit cards at minimum every 6 months. I would like to know, have you ever called and asked your credit card company to increase your credit limit? Let me know by dropping a comment in the comments section below this video. I have a warning for you. You really have to be careful about the process your credit card company takes in order to approve your credit limit increase. You don't want them pulling your credit report as a hard inquiry. A hard pull is when your creditor pulls your credit report to make a decision whether or not they will extend credit to you. This is recorded on your credit report. Too many hard pulls in a short period of time will really hurt your credit score. In other words, if your creditor is telling you that they have to go ahead and pull your credit report to figure out whether or not they're going to approve your credit request increase, that's bad. You never want them to pull your credit report and your credit score, because that's going to be recorded on your credit report that they asked the credit bureau for your credit report in order to go ahead and look at your score and look through your report. Now, what you want them to do is look at your payment history, and you want them to make a decision based on that. Just based on the fact that you want more credit, your payment history is good, and you're basically a great customer for them. And they just need to extend that gratitude for being such a great person and give you your increased credit limit without pulling that credit report. Very important. All of these techniques are simply amazing, but the single greatest and the fastest way to increase your credit score today is smashing that like button. Let's talk about a fantastic technique on how to improve your credit. One of the first things you need to find out is where your credit report stands. Get a copy of your credit report. Best place to get a copy is to go to annualcreditreport.com and request the report from all 3 of the big credit tracking companies. I'll go ahead and link to the website and a few other great resources down below in the description of this video. One of the myths of credit reports is that checking your credit report hurts your score. It does not. You can check your credit report without hurting your score. The Fair Credit Reporting Act, FCRA, allows you to get 1 free credit report from each of the nationwide credit reporting companies every single year. The big 3 are TransUnion, Equifax, and Experian. Take a look at each of the 3 reports. If anything looks inaccurate, older than allowed, or appears more than once, challenge it. You have a right to do so under the Fair Credit Reporting Act. You will need to file a dispute with each credit bureau which is reporting the incorrect, false, duplicated information. You can initiate the dispute online, by mail, just make sure it's certified, or even over the phone. Tell them what you believe is incorrect, and if it could be corrected, what needs to be fixed. If you have any supporting evidence, feel free to provide it to the credit bureaus as well. Once you start the process, the credit bureaus has 30 days to investigate the inaccuracies. At this point, the burden of proof of the disputed account will fall on the original creditor. Your creditor is going to have to prove that that negative account is accurate. If the creditor is unable to prove that the account is accurate, the credit bureau will have to remove that negative account from your credit report. One negative account which is removed from your credit report can lead to huge positive changes in your credit score. This is how to quickly improve your credit score. This is also a great way on how to improve your credit score with charge-offs. Challenge them if they're inaccurate and get rid of them. If the credit bureau's investigation does not lead to favorable results, feel free to write a letter to the creditor explaining the incorrect information and how it should be corrected. Now let's go ahead and take a look at what can be removed from your credit report. It's important to study your credit report. You can have negative accounts removed from your credit report simply because the account is way too old. If you look at your credit report and you notice there are accounts that are older than 7 years, chances are it's possible to have these accounts removed from your credit report permanently. Now, here's a list of things that can be removed from your credit report after 7 years. These include judgments, liens, foreclosures, lawsuits, Chapter 13 bankruptcies, and defaulted accounts. Sometimes a negative account on your credit report can appear multiple times. This is problematic because anyone who runs your credit report may think that it's actually worse than it really is. This is duplicate information. You can ask the credit agencies to remove these duplicate entries. If information is not correct, such as there are accounts listed that you don't own, lawsuits that you are not involved with, accounts listed with names that you don't recognize, accounts with incorrect owed amounts, or anything wrong at all, make sure you challenge it and get rid of it. You can ask the creditor to validate the account. Chapter 7 bankruptcies are different. They can stay on your credit report for up to 10 years. Any owed child support or student loans can stay on your credit report until they are fully satisfied. Now, what do you do when you're just wrong? Let's just say there's nothing inaccurate about your credit report. Your payments were just late. The best thing to do in this situation is just get on the phone with your creditor, negotiate with them, talk to them, see what you can do in order for them to readjust your account back into current status. You could even try asking them nicely to convert your account back to current status as a one-time courtesy. I've seen this tip work multiple times. It will shock you what you can get just by asking for it. If they decide to remove the late payments from your credit report, this can help out big time. This is one way how to improve your credit score fast and easy. Question of the day: which technique have you used or will use in the future to improve your credit history? Let me know in the comment section down below. I read every single comment, and if you take the time to leave a comment, I will respond to you. I'll talk to you in the comment section. You can always use a professional credit repair company to repair your credit score. You do have to be really careful who you decide to work with. Not every company will show you how to improve your credit. I'm going to link to a credit repair company that I recommend down in the description below. If you've made it this far in the video, please consider smashing that subscribe button and turning on the notification bell to be alerted when I release future videos. I highly recommend joining our mailing list by going to smashingwealth.com. This way you'll be the first to know when I release new videos in the future. I left the link to join our mailing list in the description below. Feel free to follow me on Instagram and Twitter at RealDrRyan. You can also hit the save button to bookmark this video to come back to this video later. Obliterate that like button if you're feeling generous. Feel free to share this video if you feel that this video helped you learn the fastest way to increase your credit score. I hope you enjoyed this video on how to improve your credit score fast. This is Dr. Ryan. Until next time, have a smashing day.